Hey everybody, how are you, man?
Welcome, Scotch for Dummies.
-2.
-2.
I mean,
well, one will be here shortly, so he'll be walking stage right.
He'll be here. We'll be missing one, more than likely. The fourth might show, but I highly doubt it. So, in the meantime, I'm Mark from Scotch for Dummies.
I am Drew, and Andrew and Sean. Turn this up a little bit. We'll be over, hopefully, maybe, like you just said, hopefully soon.
Maybe, maybe not. I know Andrew should be here, but anyway, we've got a lineup for you guys. We'll get into all that, but let's start off like we're supposed to start off. Say cheers.
Cheers, brother. It's been a good
Happy
week.
Thursday.
Oh my gosh.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers. Oh, what is this? I know what this is.
It's what we reviewed. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. Want to get into who's online, and I see a bunch of people, but we need to start off with that. I love Scotch. Scotchy Scotch.
Thank God it's Thursday. Eric, wait.
Thank you,
sir.
Eric.
Cheers to you,
my
man.
brother.
Thanks for the dram.
It's going to be a Peaty night, but let's back up. You know, it was probably about
Darkness is
9:15. I told Drew, I said, man, get on the chat real quick so we can be first. And he's like, we are far from first.
Yeah. Somebody said 47.
Yeah, whatever.
It was,
but there's been a lot of people in the chat for quite a while already. We just got off the pre-show, had a good little conversation, and we were at new location, New Digs tonight. We moved the studio over to Drew's Casa. This is Drew's bar, the basement bar. He's got a mini one upstairs for his stash. But
we don't talk about that one.
It's like Fight Club, right? But we moved over here because Sean's got a lot going on, and this just seemed like the right thing to do tonight. So hopefully you guys are already zooming in on what you see on the shelves and having fun with that. But Mark says 47th, but I think Mark JG was first. So Steve A's on. We were talking to him on the pre-show with Bob H as well. One Lost Cause. Just heard mention of you. We were watching Leanne on the Mash and Drum, and she had mentioned... threw a shout out to you. So anyway, Eric Waite obviously is on. Thanks again for that super chat, Eric.
Brianna's on. I think her hubby's still in Vegas, I believe.
Oh, yeah, he is.
So she's having a good time with us tonight. Good to see you, Brianna.
She's hitting the closet. That's where they keep their whole closet is just a bar. Jimmy T and Charlie Ford. Fight for Sound. I think someone is here. Zach Andrews.
I think Bud's favorite person is walking in the door.
Chad Adams, Malt Minion, Nocturnal. Man, there's all kinds of people on. So
Gippy Van Pop.
what's that about? Stuff for
Good
work.
Good evening
Gregor.
from Alberta. That's pretty cool.
Where's that at? I'm missing it.
That's down further on. Well, look at this guy.
All right, little
The bearded
time
one.
out.
Come on back.
Come on in around.
I've got some good Lafroigs and other Lafroigs if you were going to do a full.
We've got a little bit of
night.
Pete. So let's tell Andrew what we're doing tonight since he doesn't even know. We're doing a little Pete night tonight.
Could you tell?
Isla.
Pete night.
You
We
like
were going
that?
to call it the Wheelhouse Show, but you were late. Just kidding. Hey, man, get yourself something poured so we can give you
Oh, look, there's even a
proper-
glass. That's
Yes.
awesome. All right.
But I didn't want to choose for you, although you probably should start with this because we'll be talking about this.
That was a wounded. Yeah, that's it.
Well,
It is.
it is
There's a couple
wounded.
wounded zebras that we're going to put down tonight. So, anyway, what we're going to get into tonight, everybody, is we're going to talk about the review from Monday, the Nick Offerman Lagavulin 11 edition. That review was pretty hot. We got a lot of comments on it, a lot of comments.
It's getting some fire right now, for sure.
And we'll get into that, and we'll talk about that when it's time. But aside from that, we also have a little special thing going on here where we have four blind, the four Lagavulins that we have on the bar. Those four are Lagavulins. We don't know which is which. Yeah, if you start looking at the color, you can probably start guessing. So,
Don't pay attention.
But we're going to try to do a little compare and contrast
Try.
as
And
blindly as we
be
could.
honest and open about it this time and just talk about it. Because, I think, we always catch heat about how we do our reviews, but we do them consistently. We try to be the same each time and be fair. And I'm sure there's been a few reviews we've done where we should have probably let it sit or maybe let some more water on it, whatever. But we only have, what?
15 minutes.
We try to
not-
keep it to 15.
15 or less. And honestly, every single one of our reviews is pretty much live right there and then.
Yeah.
So we don't have time to really think through it and taste stuff and make notes. It's what we get. And we try to do that with every review. So maybe going back to this one, that's why we're kind of doing the taste test tonight.
Sure.
Because maybe we missed something. Maybe we should let it sit for a while. And you and I poured these about 30 minutes ago.
Yep, they've been
So
sitting
they're
there.
sitting there with a topper on them. So we're gonna try something different tonight and see what happens.
That 11's better than I remember.
Well, and so you know what? It comes down to that at that particular time you tasted it. What did you eat that
brand
day?
new bottle, yeah.
Lots of things, and a lot of people have mentioned in comments over the years. You know, it's time to go back to a bottle. And you guys should hit that again because I think you guys really did it a disservice or overrated it or whatever. But at the end of the day, we try to stay consistent anyway. So, lots of people online, Andrew. We've got a few things to talk about with Scotch in the news. Be interesting. And when we get into the Lagavulin, so I want to have a pretty good discussion about that. But let's get into the peats. And,
Okay.
what do we have? We have a peat monster that's a wounded zebra. We have a no-name that's a wounded zebra.
Compass box, which is a
Yep.
blend.
We've got, what is this? Lagavulin 8, 11, 12, 16. This is a Colila SMWS?
It is
Unopened.
open.
Well, I've got a couple of, yeah.
So this is this is another Colila.
It is. That's the one
Yeah.
I picked up in Michigan. It's a cast strength. I think it's like 54 maybe.
Oof.
Yeah, 54. So, and then this one that you reminded I had down here, I forgot that I did have it, is a Lecheg 18-year-old sherry cask finish.
I think it's gonna be good.
Oh, that's interesting.
That
Yeah,
came
right.
from Bob H. He
And
gave
Bob
us
made
that.
this one, yeah.
Um,
And then I bought this one years ago, probably 3 years ago, I think.
it's been down here a while.
It's been down here a while, but we had a glass to warm up tonight. It's still really good. This is an independent bottler.
Wow.
Yeah, this is the Lac Le Mans.
CWC.
CWC. So, interesting stuff. So, we're going to kind of hit all kinds of stuff tonight and go back. You know what? And honestly, one of the things that it's kind of like fun to watch my bar because I don't come down here and drink too much. And he made a comment that my bar started to look pretty good. And so I came down here and I'm like, well, what can we grab then? Let's grab some stuff. I'm like, this works. And I grabbed this Lefroy quarter cask over there. I haven't even opened it.
It's been sitting on it
It's
for
been sitting
2.5
there.
years.
I've got an open one and an unopened quarter cask as well.
So we poured a glass and we're like, what do you remember about this? And we're like, sweet. I'm like, yeah. And I poured it and I was like, I forgot how
It's good.
eggnog-ish it is. And it's just interesting. So it's pretty cool to go through bottles and be like, hey.
I'm hoping that this rundown tonight gets me back on the peat train. And I say that because I was on it for a long time, and I kind of
peat
fell off
season.
it. And
It's cold.
It is cold.
I'm thinking it's time to really get back into this stuff anyway, which is kind of sad because I've really, really pumped my bar full of a lot of heavily sherried, finished, and matured scotches. But looks like I just had to buy some more peats. Anyway, a couple of things on Scotch for the news I want to talk about. We've got a few announcements to make as far as what's going on with Scotland. I think we are really zeroing in. We're
Yep.
pretty stinking close on that note. And I want to do a quick shout out before I forget about it. This Sunday for the locals here in Midwest Indiana, this Sunday at 3 p.m. at Vine and Table, we're going to do an event with Vine and Table. We're going to be doing a few recordings at their liquor store at Vine and Table, and then we're also going to do a live show. Hopefully it happens well.
Yeah.
And during the live, we're going to try to bring some people on, whoever come out to the liquor store, some of the customers there, and we're going to be opening No Name 2, McKellen Edition 5. We're going to be covering those two. I think they have an Offerman 11 set aside as well, but we kind of couldn't wait, and we popped that. So we're going to have a good time at Vine and Table, and who knows what kind of things the store will do. I'm sure they're going to throw something in there to make it fun and interesting, but hopefully we have a good turnout. We're looking to start doing more things at Vine and Table and building our relationship there. So if you guys are around Vine and Table, 3 p.m. Sunday to, I don't know,
I would
5?
say I would say from 2 to 6 probably even. I don't know what time they close, but
And they close at 6 on Sunday.
we're going to be there all day pretty much.
Yeah, and so come on out if you can. We look forward to seeing you guys. With that being said, let's dive into Nicky Boy. Let's
All right.
dive into Offerman.
Let's talk about it.
So I know there's one subscriber that we have that hates Lagavulin. That's Bud Matthews.
We do have a super chat. I just talked about this one. There it
Okay.
is. This is our first sticker. So we got a YouTube thing this week. It says, "Hey, you've got sticker something or other." I'm
What's
like,
that?
"Okay." So part of your
We've
super
earned the
chats,
stickers?
super chats now have the sticker thing or something. I don't know.
Show
So
up on
apparently, Zach, you're the very first one to give us a sticker. And by the way, cheers! Thank you for the super chat.
That's awesome, man.
It doesn't show
Cheers,
up on
man.
that. Cheers.
I never heard of stickers. That's pretty cool.
Fist bump. It's a fist bump one.
Oh, and Streamlabs is going to talk about it. So cool. So you were saying the Offerman.
Yeah, he actually took a shot at Bud, which is
Yeah,
good for
because
you.
Bud doesn't like Lagavulin.
No,
So he really needs to probably tune out because that's
probably
not
should
really.
just go ahead and disconnect. And
He's fist bumping you right now.
He's face bumping.
Yeah, Nick Offerman played a character on Parks and Rec. Ron Swanson. If you guys haven't watched that show, you'll love Ron Swanson. Anyway, he actually kind of brought that whole love for Lagavulin personally into the show. He kind of wrote that in himself over the years of the show, and Lagavulin picked up on it. And he built a really good relationship with it personally. Actually shot episodes there, this, that, and the other. And over the last 5 years, they've been working on this bottle. So pretty cool. They actually bottled something with the picture is really cool, and everybody was excited. I was excited about it. We ran out and grabbed it. Was very curious to see where it was going to fit in the lineup. Now here in the States, it's going for I think retail $74.99. Yeah. Some people are saying in California it's $1.20. I think Bob H said he saw it in New Jersey for 60 something. People over in Europe are saying, I think Whiskey Will said he saw it on Whiskey Barrel for, what was it, like $200 or something?
Well,
it's stupid crazy.
I heard that this is only going to be released in the U.S. and Australia.
no kidding.
Those are the only markets that it's going to.
Which makes me want to say, all right, we've all got a bottle. I'm going to have to actually pour a couple of samples out and put them aside for giveaways, sending stuff to people that I know will never
Canada
get it, right?
and UK and Germany.
Throw a bottle or a good, healthy sample over to Roy so he has an opportunity to try some of it. I mean, anybody who's a Lagavulin fan, I want
All the
them to
guys
have
over there, Vin, and
yeah, we'll have to do that. But so if you guys didn't watch the review, we'll dive into it a little bit. I know a lot of people did. We got over 50 comments on it, and I tried my best to really respond to them. I would say a lot of the comments I feel bad about because they were like, "Oh, with your review, we're gonna pass."
That's funny because I was telling you the other night somebody was posting on Scotch Addict and they were talking about this. I'm like, "Hey, I'll just throw our review over there," and they posted a thing from Lagavulin, and I actually didn't post it because I felt the same way you felt. I felt like, that's our job to be unbiased and honest about stuff. And I'm a huge fan, right? But I felt like I let him down. And I felt like I'm letting you guys down by not giving it a better score. But it is what it is. And I'm actually really excited to try it again here in a little bit to see what's going on. But to your point, to our comments and everything else, we've had a few that says, you know what, thanks for telling us. I'm going to steer away from this one. Good or bad or indifferent, that's fine. But it still kind of makes you feel like, oh, crap, because you want Offerman to be successful because we want more Offerman stuff.
Yeah, and I want Lagavulin to be successful. Yeah. But at the end of the day, I think from my review, I liked it. It's good, but I thought it was overpriced at that. In other words, I think it's probably a good bargain at $50.
Now a bargain at $50.
Now the extra $25 is the Nick Offerman thing and the marketing and the special uniqueness of it for that. But I have a bottle of it, and I'm happy with it. I'm going to drink it, that's for sure. Yeah. I don't think mine's open yet.
2,068 views.
Yeah. Someone asked, I think it was Donner, asked whose basement is it. We are a new location at Drew's Bar. Welcome to Drew's Bar. This isn't
the Drew Town.
So the other bar is Sean's. That's kind of home base, but we relocated here for tonight, and maybe for a little while. We'll see where it goes. But you guys, if you start spying the shelves, you go ahead and ask. We'll open whatever you see. That's not true.
Anything?
Drew's kicking me out right now. He's like, you done.
How about this Parliament?
Forget that Parliament. I want that Deanston 20.
Go! Thank you, Bob.
Go! Thank you, Bob H.
Cheers,
Bob.
man. Wheelhouse. We can say wheelhouse tonight.
I like the nose on this.
So let's talk through it. So how many of you guys out there in chat world have actually had this 11 already, and what do you think about it? I know Eric did. Eric was probably the first tuber
first one,
that I saw get on it.
He liked it. He liked it. I think, if I remember correctly watching his video, I think he liked it. I think he said in the comment that he liked it too. when do you guys want to start getting into this stuff? I mean, I'm kind of itching to start trying
All
some
right.
of these
Well, we
things.
could do that. I was gonna give. Well, I hate to. If we're gonna, it's one of the four. So.
You know what? We need to take a break because we have it in the glass right now.
Right.
All right, so either we need a break or I'm going to drink some water.
Why don't we
dehydrated.
segue? I'll actually finish off this real quick, and then we'll segue into the Scotch in the news.
So you want us to just chug these? Is that what you're saying? I had a bigger pour.
No, it's good. Good job.
We do have some Scotch in the news, and that'll be a good break. So, actually, while I'm finishing this, can you give us a little bit of an update? I'm not getting too specifics.
Okay.
We do have numbers, but we're not giving them. We're close. Where are we right now?
The planning is done. It's time to work out how many people can go, what what the final. I mean, really, we're essentially done with the planning. There's some more paperwork to do. We need to get forms together. We need to get. We could do a little more work with some distilleries to see if we can bring the price down a little bit, but essentially the price is set, and when you put your deposit in, then
You're guaranteed.
It's a set to not to exceed. If we get a better deal for some of the distilleries, then the second payment would go down.
Gotcha.
So we're really close. June 22nd through the 26th is the date, and we're essentially we're starting.
We're planning's done. We have a little bit more work when it comes to like marketing and distribution and things like
Correct.
that. So what we're gonna do now, guys, is the dummies we're doing our planning.
Yes.
We need our individual planning with our wives and how we're going to do this before we put it out there for everybody else, so we know exactly where we're going to be, when we're going to be, how we're going to be, all that good stuff.
Airline tickets and all that kind of stuff.
I would expect something very soon, an email or a post about us somewhere for them to probably go register soon and,
Yes, so
and start making their deposits.
So there will be a form to fill out that will have all of your pertinent information, passport, and then essentially you'll email that in, and you'll have to arrange with the spirit or the company to put down the 50% deposit up front. Once you've done that, you've locked a spot, and you can work with the travel company on any additional payments after that.
I think they're invoiced in April, I think is what they said. I'm not sure, but here's the thing: if I honestly don't see us trying to get the distilleries to come down in price after today. Instead, I want to reach out and try to work in more from the distillery. In other words, you know what? Instead of knocking $5 off a head for the tour, no, why don't you give us an extra pull of something special? You know what I mean? A little something.
Give us a pull from that 25-year-old barrel.
I mean, honestly, we're all going all the way over there, you know. So we want the experience more than anything. But it's coming. And just so everybody knows, tonight on the channel, you know, we've got 20 plus people that have verbally already sent us, commits. So there might not be too many open seats up for grabs.
It's going to go really, really quick.
Yeah,
really quick, like within an hour.
You know, it's mid-November, and we're talking about June. So I mean, we're like 7 months away from being in Scotland.
Yeah,
so it's coming. It's coming fast.
Eric was asking if we're going to Isla. We're not going to Isla. That's a 2021 trip.
That's the 2021 trip.
So
yes, we're thinking about it.
This year, the distilleries are Ball Blair, Clynelish Brura, O'Pulteney, Wolfsburn, Dalmore, Spey, Tamdu, Glendronach, Deanston, and Glengoyne. Starting out in Inverness, ending up in Glasgow, probably with a final dram at the Pot Still.
That sounds awesome.
And I can tell you from these distillers, just looking at them right off the bat, I mean, just from the gut, there will be a special experience at Old Pulteney.
At least four of those.
Spey's not open to the public. They're going to be doing something special. Tamdu's not open to the public. They'll be doing something special. There's going to be some special fun stuff. Yeah. We're going to make this unique.
It's going to be epic.
It is going to be epic. I'm going to need a new liver when it's all said and done. But anyway, so let's get into Scotch.
So let's pour
and news. That's
else,
the update on the tour, guys.
I'm going to pour...
Or I thought we were going to go directly into it.
Well, I want to clean up my glass a little bit and get something different so we don't go straight back to the Lagavulins.
I'm just going to take a break, to be honest with you. I'm going to put a little water on. Dang it, I had something I wanted to bring up.
Oh, you want to do the news?
Oh, yeah, Scotch in the news.
Hi,
Are you,
I'm Mark, and this is Scotch in the News, sitting in for Sean.
Are you on location today?
No location. I'm on location at Juice Bar. So really only two things that I found that were interesting and worthy of talking to. The first one, which is going to be a pretty good little discussion, so you guys need to get on the keyboards and chime in. So this article about the whiskey market 2019. That's the market research one, right?
Yep.
Okay, so that's, I'm switching gears. That's not the one I want to talk to first. We'll do it though. So this article is talking about this research project that was done. Scroll up and get the title of it again. It was, I want to say, it's a 10-year study, and they're doing, on the entire whiskey market. Well, can you put the link in there for them?
I think I can paste it.
Can you paste it in the chat anyway? So if you go out and read the article, it gives you a little bit of a basis of what this report is about, right? So inside the article, there's a link to the report. So I clicked the link to the report, and I want to get a copy of it. Yeah, if you want the full report, it's $1,800. So I was like, well, that better be one hell of a report. So I filled out the form for a free sample of it, and I'm going to see if I can't get my hands on some of it. It looks really interesting. It looks like there's a ton to be talked about in it, but if anybody's got a scratch $1,800, I'd love to see the full report. Now, will they give it to us? Probably not, because they know we have a YouTube channel and they don't want us to just throw it out there, right? But I want to see what it's really talking about. But the link is in there, so you guys probably should go check it out. The second article is the discussion one that I wanted to get into, because it's talking about, scroll all the way up to the top. Look at this. The best new single malt Scotch whiskeys of 2019, right? The best.
The best?
The best.
By
Simply
Up Rocks
the best.
magazine?
Right, so I'm like, all right, whoa. Well, I got to tell you, you read the article, and the first couple paragraphs do a pretty good job of the general description of what single malt is. Not bad. They do a pretty good job. I was actually impressed.
Well,
But-
look at that.
so-
There's our friend.
The first one, you go through this list, I think there's 10 that they list, and it's like, all right, wait a minute. Half of these are just big marketing, popular
Right.
ones that just released. Mac 5, Lagavulin 11, Nick Offerman.
This is
right?
interesting, though.
But this Oban Distiller's Edition looks interesting. I'm like, well, what's going on there, right? So I'd really like to know if anybody's had this yet, and I'd like to know where they got it and what they got it for. What was the price point on it?
2010 Kilholman.
There's probably somebody on the chat that's had that one. Look, here's another popular one. Of course, they're going to list this as a top 10. Really? It's not even on the market yet, and it's a Game of Thrones one. Really?
This is all marketing.
Right. But here, whoa. They're talking about the whole... Here's the Bob H one. Bob was talking about Glenallachie's. He's really high on Glenallachie right now.
Yes.
So I'm very curious to know who's had the Glenallachie's, and I want to see in the chat. So there you go. Right
Talisker
there.
15.
Eric Waite says that Oban Distiller's Edition. Really like it.
Glenlivet 14. Yeah.
What did you get on it, Eric?
Black Art
Where did you
7.
get it? What'd you pay for it? Yeah,
much does
has
that cost?
anybody nabbed the Black Art 7 yet?
Is it even out? What's it running?
No idea. Let's see.
It's got to be running.
It's got to be close to-
$500,
Yeah,
$600.
$400 or $500. I don't know. It looks really good, but
$500.
so Eric
Eric
said
got
he
it
got
at
it
the
at the distillery. Dang, yeah. I really am curious to know. And so is Travis Faircloth? He is. So Travis, he should be speaking in on some of these. So
Only $44.
well, yeah. So I picked up Glenallachie 15 on Travis Faircloth's recommendation. I haven't popped that yet, by the way, Travis. I know you said you were a little disappointed in it. Didn't really quite live up to what you were expecting, but it seems like I'm hearing more and more about Glenallachie when I never heard of or had one before you even suggested I buy that one. So it's just kind of crazy that it's coming at me from a lot of different angles. I whiskey, she wines. Hey, what's up, Sam?
So I don't know who that is, but it's Sam.
Yeah.
So Sam, I posted today on yours. I saw your video of, I think you were drinking. What was it she was drinking? Was it Lagavulin or something? It was something really peaty. And
Welcome to the show.
She was gagging, and I was like, "Oh, poor girl."
Come on. It's that time of year. It's time to get into the peat.
Oh, I felt sorry for her, but she's a trooper. She went through and she kept on going. So good on you, girl.
That's what she does.
Good on you.
So we've got 4 Lagavulins here, you guys. Actually, we got Miss Leanne's coin on top of one of them. Look at that Scotch.
Supernova.
Scotch on the Bayou. So we've got these 4 Lagavulins pre-poured. Yes, the color difference. Honestly, there are 2 that look really similar because they're very, very light. And then there are 2 that are not so light. So honestly, if you guys put it in the window, you probably can guess which one's which based on
We're
coloring.
going to obviously try not to. The whole point of this is to try to give some fairness at some of these and see, is there one that's better than others? Are they really big different tastes or whatever? And we won't know, obviously, until we pair them up and figure out which one we individually like best.
Yeah.
Right. So what I'm going to say, guys, is as we reach through these and try to go through them one at a time or whatever, everyone's going to have a different glass. Keep the same coin on top of it so you can remember which one you liked or didn't, what you thought of it. So I'm just going to go with the one that says Scotch on top of it.
I'm going to do the Scotch on the Bayou.
So
I am Aquavite.
God, this one's really light. I mean, not just the color, but the nose is really light. Soft.
It's hard to get the nose on these small glasses.
That one's rich.
That one's peppery.
Oh yeah, you get briny and
Yeah.
lightness.
That's good.
Oh yeah, this has like almost florals in it.
So it's kind of meaty.
Do you guys have these 4? Have you had all 4 of them? I know everyone's had 16. Hopefully, everyone's had a chance to get the 8 and the 12. That might not be true, but and hopefully you guys are getting a chance to get the Offerman.
A little sourness in that.
Yeah, did you get that one peppery? Did you find that peppery?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of.
So one thing I did post on the Offerman video is I did try to do kind of a core lineup a little bit, or at least put it in sequential. So we actually have had everything. We reviewed them all, and it goes from what, the 8, the 9, which is Game
There's
of
the
Thrones.
Game of Thrones 9 out.
And then the 11, which is Offerman.
Sure.
12, which we have here. 16, which we have here. Distiller's Edition.
There's several.
There's actually
distillers,
several.
Distillers editions.
And what else? Am I missing something else?
16, and then you get into some of the
Like
older
20.
bottlings. Like I want to say there's a 25, but one thing I wanted to put out there, and I told the guys in the pre-show, I'm looking for you Lagavulin fans out there. Can somebody explain to me in the chat the numbering system for the Lagavulin Distillers Edition? It seems that they all start with a 4/something, 4/496, 4/500, 4/504, 4/507. What's that mean? Somebody break it down and educate me on that, because I couldn't find it. I looked around. Hey, I thought I saw Cato. I did see Cato. Look at that guy. Man, I haven't seen him in a long time. How are you, my friend?
This is peppery, but it's got a nice taste to it.
It's a little bit
Vanilla and sweet.
Ooh.
It's a little, I'm gonna get a little sour on that one.
On this one?
See, I get
Briny.
this one right here. I get soapy.
Soapy.
Yeah.
All from the same distillery.
Maybe florally, but honestly, it.
I'm gonna try that one next.
I think I haven't had Aquavite yet.
This one's definitely nowhere near as peppery as this one. That one's okay.
Yeah, they have a very similar nose actually.
Briny. All right, so I tried the 2 lighter ones, and
That one's... Where's the other dark one?
right here.
That one is not nearly as deep as that one.
Really?
I'll disagree with you on that. Completely. Yeah. You need
We need to
Okay,
bring
so
these down.
this one
You need to
smells
go
a little
back.
more rosier. No, I'll be able to talk my way through it. I'm not.
That is. There's like
I'm going to write down our choices in a minute.
barbecue, smoked barbecue on this one.
Mark. So we won't forget when we reveal.
Ooh. All right, I gotta be honest, man. The darker colored one, I just think it's richer. I mean, there's just more fullness to it. I need some water to rinse this out before my palate gets burnt. What's your guys' favorite Lagavulin? Of the Lagavulins that you guys have had, I mean, honestly, I used to say that Lagavulin 16 was probably my dram of choice if I had to choose one to drink for the rest of my life. I don't know if that's true at right now. I still have a lot of them stashed away in my basement.
The mid palate and final palate on that one is so good.
Okay, let me see that one. What is that? Aquavite?
Aquavite.
All right, Roy, don't let me down. Ooh, this one smells creamier. This one smells sweeter.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What's going on with you, lover? Hi, sweetheart.
That's a fine glass there. So I think I would go 1, 2, 3, 4.
I feel like I haven't done one of the
Aquavite. I would do then this Scotch on the Bayou. Then I do burnt toast, and those are my order of favorites. And I think it does have more. It's all about complexity of these.
Okay, so I'm
The
going the other way.
Aquavite has a richer, broad middle that just really kind of explodes.
This is
and I
tough.
like
This
that.
is really hard.
I'm
The
good.
Scotch on the Bayou,
Got
it's got some good flavors, and it's got more richness to it.
What's your numbers again?
Aquavite, then Scotch on the Bayou, then burnt toast, and the Scotch Or. The burnt toast one, I think, has a little creaminess to it. It's a lighter whiskey. It has it's not as deep and rich, but the creaminess kind of over the new peated whiskey flavor, I think adds a lot of just nice balance to it. I think this one here that Mark's drinking right now, it feels new make-ish. It feels really kind of raw, and so that's what I'm getting out of the Scotch Or.
Okay.
Scotch Or's raw.
So
Let me try that one again. I want to verify.
I'm close. I'm close. I'll give you a talk through here in just a second.
I'm all over the place. This is tougher than I thought it was going to be. I need something to cleanse
Okay.
my palate.
Okay.
Give it a splash of water.
So
It is, but
so here, you ready for me?
yeah, go for it.
All right. I think the Aquavite one is number one for me as well. It's a darker one. I think it's creamier. It's got more to it. There's just a little bit more to chew on.
More meat.
Yeah. Now, when it comes down to the Scotch Whore one and this Scotch in the Bayou,
I'm wrong.
these are pretty close. I like these the same.
Yeah, I think I like that one better than.
But for different reasons. And I'll say that I really like the punchiness of this one. This one's like a cedary edge. This one's it's got a pepper note in it. But
that's the.
I think this one needs a little
Scotch Whore.
water. Yes.
Scotch Whore is the one
Scotch
you're
Whore,
talking
I think it needs a little water, and I think there's a lot more in it. And then I like this one. This one reminds me a lot of the other sherry finished one. It's just not as sweet and creamy. It's not as
Yeah,
it's a little harsh. It's a little edgier. And then the last one I would say is the burnt toast. The burnt toast one, to me, it smells soapy.
Used to.
Yeah. So we got to do the big reveal here once you tell us what you got going on. So I want to catch up on these comments here. Is Ben Dietrich on? I'm just
Yes.
messing. The 12-year-old cast strength is great. Oh, gee.
Yeah, he kicked it off by saying that we have 4 too many Lagavulins already up there.
All right, Ben.
Yeah, and that was.
You owe me a phone call, by the way, man. I've been trying to get a hold of you. I needed some advice on an SMWS purchase, and you never
I'm
got
good.
back to me, and
Yeah, I'm good.
now it's gone.
I think I may
Hold you
put that-
accountable.
I may put the burnt toast last again.
Okay, so what's your final order? Mark, I didn't get your final order.
So my final order is Aquavite number 1.
yeah.
I am tying Scotch in the Bayou and Scotch Whore. That probably sounded bad. I'm sorry, Lee. I'm tying. I'm tying those two, and then the burnt toast is bringing up the rear. That didn't sound any better.
I made up. I flipped the taste. The Scotch Whore has a more creamy, buttery flavor than the burnt toast does. So I'm gonna go Aquavite, Scotch on the Bayou, Scotch Whore, burnt toast.
It won't show.
Yeah, I'm going Aquavite, burnt toast, Scotch Whore, and Bayou.
Really? All right.
Really?
So, are you guys ready?
So let's look.
We
We
all
all
said
said Aquavite is number one. What's Aquavite?
Aquavite is 11.
Really?
Are you kidding me?
You are freaking me out.
I originally said it wasn't. Remember you tricked me. I said the other one was more malty.
I don't believe that.
I said the other one was more malty. This is gonna hurt.
No, I don't believe that.
That's exactly what I said.
Well,
I got my.
How old is this bottle? Is it 16?
Oh, I don't know. It's been open a while.
It has been open for a while, but it doesn't make a difference.
Is that the 16?
Damn.
You pass her back.
So with
Wow.
which one is that one? That one what?
I have egg on my face.
Scotch in the Bayou. Lee said one and the same. Love you, darling.
So Bayou is 16.
I assume that's on the bottom.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Holy cow! What is wrong with me? I have lost my taste.
I think we're all messed up here because what's burnt toast? So
your
your second one.
Yep, burnt toast is 8. I had that one nailed. Scotch Horse 12. And I kind of think I knew that in the back of my mind just from tasting it. I mean, it's a higher ABV. The 12 is what? 50.
Well, that's not fair.
56 and a half.
Should put water in that.
Come on, man. Scotch for dummies. Don't put no damn water. No, it's kidding.
So, Travis, you're right. I think the sherry of the 16 and the 11, it does. It builds it. It makes a better balance, I think.
Well, this is this was a little eye-opening. I felt like I was right at first, and you and I argued with me, and then obviously I got my palate got messed up. But I really liked. I think it was the 8 originally. I'm not sure which one it was now.
That is so weird.
This is the 8.
I slammed the 11 for not being kind of rich and creamy and buttery and all that kind of stuff, and then not having good balance.
Tonight, that's what I get on it.
Tonight
I
it's
literally
way better.
I get cream on it.
So that.
Yeah, this one is sour, more sour.
So that goes to show you if you know a distillery and you trust their master blenders and master distillers, open a bottle. If it's not perfect, give it a minute. Because I think
that's true.
I think that time did help this bottle because we opened it on the air. It was fresh open.
It's true.
And it definitely has opened up.
But the real question is
because these are all neat.
We're comparing this to tonight's and everything else, and it's kind of a mush right now as far as everything we got going on.
Maybe the 16 was dead.
Go ahead. All kinds of things. But the point is that when we did the review originally, we were single, just on that 1 dram, just on that one bottle. Yeah. Our palates were clean. Yeah. We didn't have anything going on. So I still stand by the original review. However, this does make you wonder a little bit more about, fairness and time. And I mean, but that's true of any case, really, in any bottle.
Yep. I'd agree.
I'm trying to go back and make sure I didn't miss an answer to my numbering question on the Distiller's Edition. I got busy talking and trying Scotch, and I really want to understand what those numbers mean. Are they just bullshit, or, I mean, doggone it.
The 4 is the distillery.
Oh, man. Is that a dad joke?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
So interesting experiment.
Eric,
wait. Gosh,
thou
Eric,
shalt
man.
not judge by whiskey.
Bring in the good book.
I flipped the neck pour out. It wasn't a neck pour.
I flipped the neck pour out.
I turned it over and washed it out.
So I don't know if they have, Travis. And the one person that I really wanted to see on the chat tonight when we did this was Hoagie from in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Hoagie's probably got the most experience in Lagavulin of anybody that we talked to. So I was hoping that he was going to be able to open our eyes to this. But did we lose Ben? Did I chase him off because I told him he owed me?
Got half a
He owed me a
bottle.
phone call.
He just was a little
Okay.
So this is a half a bottle of the 16. We got to report that.
All right.
in your personal glass, let's pour it in the.
Let's be careful slamming
12.
Oh, they can
the
hear
table.
all that.
Well,
Yeah.
there's no cushion on the mic, so every
It's
time
a
you
bar.
hit the table,
The Scotch on the Bayou.
it's the
1.6, buddy.
Yeah.
No.
It's the 1.6.
Now here and the other thing too, honestly,
Pour that up.
and this is a fair statement. These glasses suck for smelling. There's not enough in there to get. I had a hard time getting anything on the nose.
Yeah, we pulled the
So I
wrong
was
glasses,
basically,
didn't
yeah, we did.
I mean, I gotta be honest. I love them. These are really cool little glasses. They're really heavy. This is a Kilholman. You've got 2 Lagavulin ones and a Bamor.
These are made for neck.
Oh, those little bitty cheesy lanyards, right?
Yeah.
Walking around like events.
So I just had them. It was quick to pour, but we should have poured them in a normal glass because you can get in there and you get more. I think that would have helped a little bit. So
What do you got? Is that the 16?
take that for what it is. But anyway,
See, to me, it smells beautiful right now. I get like
No question, it smells beautiful.
like raspberry.
But we thought the 11 tasted better. Man, that is good. It's got like a mossy note to it.
Ben says brands that put codes in their bottles are crazy. Yeah. So speaking of the craziness, Ben, let's talk about. So that's
He's a fun guy.
So we've had some fun with Lagavulin, and obviously Offerman. It's a good bottle, no doubt. And I'll buy a bottle if I see it.
I would too, yeah.
I think it's just not as good. I think the price wise, it's not as good as 16, but still, you should buy a bottle, especially if you like Lagavulin. Period.
I think so. I mean, it's a Lagavulin, and it tastes like a Lagavulin. It's got Lagavulin in it. You're not going to be disappointed, and you're going to have a cool bottle. I mean, to be honest with you, Nick Offerman all bearded up on it. I mean, makes you want to go eat like a 57-ounce steak. And
So the key with and I will eat crow tonight. That maybe we should have I like it better that once it's set.
Okay, fair enough.
So our ratings are all typically they're based on a new bottle, and that is kind of consistent with us, so you have to understand that going forward. That doesn't mean that they don't get better with age, and so I have to admit the 11 feels like it got better. It seems like it got better with age.
But there's been, how many bottles have we talked about? And this is actually probably a good topic for a live show is having something freshly open versus having something, it's been open for, 30 days or something like that. Because, that's true in any bottle we had so far. But to go back to my original point at the beginning of the show is we do every review live on the spot. We do very minimal reading on what it is. Most of our research is on the distillery.
Right.
So almost 99% of our reviews are completely blind. For the most part, it's unless we've opened the bottle previously for some reason. Yeah. So we do the same show, which means we do the same process. So we want to keep it that way. So sometimes bottles get screwed because of that. Is what we're trying to say.
That's fair.
It's nothing we can do about it.
We intentionally do not look at all the tasting notes from everybody else in the world before we taste it.
No,
because that's going to completely color our view. We have enough interaction with ourselves that is going to color our view. But if we were to say, let's watch every whiskey reviewer out there and look at all the reviews and kind of make up our mind before we start and then taste it.
Yeah, and let's face it, we're all dumb. We don't know what we're just giving you our opinions and based on some logic and stuff.
Honestly,
so we don't know. Some of these guys you watch maybe have a better palate than we do, but we're just giving you like it is.
Go back and watch the first year of reviews. Literally, we're like, man, that's beautiful color. This is gonna be good. And then in the comment, they're like, yeah, it's got coloring, you idiot. Oh, damn, yeah, you're right. You know what I mean?
Where's Scotch for Dummies?
So it's all a learning process, and that's why I asked the question about the numbering. Look, if someone's gonna educate me on the show, they're gonna educate everybody else that's on too. So that's the whole point of it, right?
Yep.
But and there are some people that join these live shows and on these chats. There are people in this chat right now that know way more about Scotch than I do.
Absolutely.
Ben Dietrich, his palate blows mine out of the water.
It is crazy.
That dude's amazing.
Travis Faircloth knows more about sherry finished scotches than I'll ever know. But it is what it is, and that's what the whole point is. We all come together and we learn from each other.
Right? It's a community.
But what's going on?
So
with
let's move on. So it's kind of a Peaty night tonight. So we got some killers down there. We got some zebras to kill for sure.
Wounded zebras.
We've done some Lagavulin, and so we looked at the bar and was like, you know what? What else do we have? Well, I've got something that Ben would like. I've got an SMWS. So this is Blowtorch Blast.
Oh, that sounds good for me.
0.246. This is a Coila. And I also have, guess what? Another Coila.
A cast strength one.
A cast strength one.
Good.
Two cast strength Coila?
Ooh.
I might not walk home.
So wait a minute. Let's not say anything about what this is Coila. Ben, why don't you tell us about Blowtorch Blast? Here's the spotlight, my friend.
This sounds like something you need in your glass right now.
I do. See if I can break a glass.
Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Ooh. Well, it's light. Light on color, huh? What do you got?
Refill hogshead.
7-year-old. So she's young at 58.8. Hello, lover. Good Lord have
Man.
mercy.
That's fruity.
Blow torch blast.
So
I
it's,
actually
it's
have it
fruity
up
on
on
the
website
nose.
here.
It's really fruity on the nose.
Is it really?
So,
I'm really surprised by that. 7 years old.
Yep,
Refilled
7
bourbon
years.
hogshead.
There you go.
It's not quite as light.
Yeah, that's pretty light. There's not much color in that.
So let me see if I can
Wow,
find this.
good
and give you guys
almighty.
details, because their stuff is amazing.
Okay, so the nose is starting to change a little bit.
Yeah.
Again, oh wait, I drank the neck pour. Eric,
No.
sorry. Did you
so,
flip it?
First impressions, well, I won't say anything yet.
So
What
look,
else you got?
Ben's like, been a while, but I remember that cask being wild. So, been a while. Because stuff finds its way to Drew's Bar, and it just gets forgotten.
Yeah, this is like 2 years ago. That's not available anymore. Don't promote that one. It's not available.
What can we get on the secondary market for this, Ben? Nothing, you just opened it,
U.S.
check it.
allocation was 90 bottles.
Yeah, well, there's one.
Yeah, there's one here. Well,
So, basically, we got toasted coconut, roasted peanuts, smoked mackerel, rhubarb, ginger.
smoked mackerel. Really?
I got
Yeah,
the rhubarb.
so-
I'll be honest with you.
I don't
Tuna
know.
My
steak,
first nose, fruit
horseradish.
punch.
Well, I was more juicy fruit, but
But
yeah, same
gone
thing.
now.
Yeah, it did. It completely walked away. That's Colada?
Yeah.
So the nose is not peated at all. There's no smoke. There's no barbecue. There's no char. There's none of the typical nose you
Wait,
get
what
from
was
a,
the
from a
nut that
peated
they
whiskey.
said?
I feel
Mackerel?
I was going to say sardines.
Wait, no, wait, there's...
Smoked mackerel's a fish.
No, I know, but what did I see on this?
Hold on a second.
I read a word, and I smell it
Peanuts?
like a nut.
Coconut and
Peanuts.
peanuts.
Coconut?
I'm not getting that. But again, I'm a dummy.
Yeah, I could get like sweet coconut on top of that.
Yeah.
That's really good.
For not smelling any Pete, she's in there.
Yeah, but she's light. She's not like very overwhelming.
Ooh.
It's
What do they
hot.
call it? They call it blowtorch? I was going to say firecracker.
Well,
That's really good.
it's hot. I mean, and so it needs water. I think my palate just kind of burned out.
Man, you need to
Without
pull
alcohol.
that skirt down and call it a kilt, boy. No, I'm just kidding.
True to that.
This has a really nice, and I think it's what that coconut is. That sweet coconut. It's hard to describe this, but it's kind of like a visual thing. Like it's like at the very top of my palate right now was that sweetness, and then the very bottom of my palate is like that oaky, peaty, a little bit of a smoke, and
See, I got more
Something
oakiness.
else.
There's some more woody on the kind of the mid palate. I'll need it to go in again.
I'm not getting any kind of fish or anything on the palate at all.
I got a
could
little
get
bit on the nose.
I could get it on
Nose.
the finish.
Um,
I'm not getting fish on the nose.
I get like a cotton candy on the very bottom. Underneath all of it is a sweet cotton candy.
I can't believe how like sweet it is. Like just
So my
no,
but the
not
nose
whole
after
thing. Just
the nose after I drank it is more like cotton. I mean, I might have burned out my my.
Well,
my
when you go through a lineup of all Pete, that's going to happen, right? So,
that's a fair point.
I mean, 58.8, 7-year-old. Hey,
really good.
Ben, out of curiosity, you say you remember it. Can you tell us when this was released? When did you guys? What outturn did you guys put this out? How old is this bottle? How long has it been out? It says June. I want to say 18.
Isn't Coila like a?
Distilled in June of 10. That's what I'm reading. Distilled in June of 10.
It's used in a lot of blends, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's pretty heavily.
like a-
It's the base of Johnny Walker.
Right.
Yeah. So I am getting the peat on the mid palate, and is really coming out. It's really subtle. It's really nice.
This
For
is a quality
for a
dram, Clark.
7-year-old. Yeah.
Of course, remember, peat is most intense when it first goes in the barrel. Peat, as it ages, will diminish.
Mm-hmm.
And so at a 7-year, you would expect a fairly potent drink. And quite honestly,
But
this reminds me of Cola.
Hey,
Hey, Graham.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Real House,
Cheers.
man. Really appreciate it, man. It's been
Cheers.
It's actually been a while, man. We've had a couple of live shows where the super chats went through the roof. It's been a while since we've had a couple,
And
so
that's
I appreciate
fine, you guys.
that.
You know,
Yeah.
every
That's
drop
good.
helps. Every help gets us to Scotland, and
Yeah, and if you're not on Patreon, by the way, you should be on Patreon.
Yeah.
So
I'm a lot of fun with there.
I really love the fact that I don't get any of that peat on the nose. I smelled it and I got juicy fruit. I got fruit punch in the beginning, right? And then I started getting a nutty smell on the back end, but man, the peat is definitely on the palate.
And now it's getting hit in my nose too. Maybe it's just coming off my tongue, but
I think there's a nice, subtle, sweet undertone that's going on. I mean,
oh, that is so weird.
It's going to take you a while to kill this bottle because it's 58.8. This is
Be gentle.
It's going to be going upstairs.
But this is one that I think gets you through the winter.
It's warm. It's nice because it has a really good positive and negative as far as just super sweet and then super peat. It's like it's a nice, not super peat, but just a.
See, I'm getting peat all over the nose now. It's weird.
So now that you've tasted, yeah.
I don't know. It's my palate may be saturated. It may be more peaty than we realized. But the fact that it had that much fruit forward, it tells you something about the distillate. That they've got a lot of fruit in there.
Oh, another one.
Hey, Zach.
Peat Smoke rules. Thank you, Zach.
Zach, you are right.
Appreciate it, sir.
Peat rules. It's the potency and the flavors of peat.
Honestly, I get bacon bits in it too. Not barbecue, but like bacon bits. Not like the
fake bacon.
Yeah, the fake bacon. That's what I smell. It's down in there.
This is like super sweet. Fun. I can't believe how sweet that is. I'm shocked.
I'm glad you opened it.
I am too.
Well, and
get some more.
Quite honestly, there's a reason Cole Isla is added to so many blends. It's got a rich, potent flavor that it doesn't.
So
yeah.
Now, hang on. 58.8.
54. And
this is 54.
54 something.
But how old is it? So this is 7 and 11. 7-year-old, 11-year-old Cole Isla. 58.8. 54.1. Let me see if I can tell what this is finished in.
I'm not sure how many.
Natural color, natural filter. I don't know. They don't give you any kind of match.
2005.
Hang on a second. First fill bourbon. So this is just all first fill bourbon.
Man, I'm not ready for that yet.
And this is refill hogshead X bourbon. So
this is cast strength, dudes. I can't.
This is
gonna have keep up with you.
Sure you can. You only got to walk 2 doors, 3 doors down. You're fine.
That may be a problem.
You got sick days left in the end of the year, brother.
So on this one,
okay.
I got some cake batter.
Can I nose yours? Because I'm not going to hit it yet.
Say it again to the camera.
Can I nose yours? Go ahead.
Oh, gosh. Blowtorch Blast could have benefited from a bit more time in the cask, but was bottled because why the hell not? A lot of fun, as I remember. I'm with you, Ben. Why the hell not? Okay, so this is 54.
Not nearly as sweet. Not even close. But maltier, peatier.
Dude, you say cake batter?
Mm-hmm.
It's all sugar.
On the nose.
Oh,
no,
okay.
on the
Okay, I was gonna say, man, it smells sweet as shit.
So did this. This smelled like what? Fruit punch?
No, this is like literally cake batter. I mean, this is Paula Deen butter and sugar, baby.
That's vanilla and buttery and
yeah. But the palate, it's not there.
To get cake batter, you got a lot of different. So that may be the barreling. It is another 4 years in a barrel.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it smells exquisite. It's getting my belly. I mean, yeah, I want a spoon and clean the bowl with that. You know what I mean?
A little spatula.
Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh, guys, we've had some fun tonight. We've got 5 minutes left in our normal hour
already.
I know it's going quick. So
that's really.
That's good, isn't it?
It's really good.
I think I like both of them. I think this one has a little bit more of a.
You don't get sweetness on the palate?
Not much.
Oh, I do.
I feel like this one's a little bit more rounded than this one is. Although I like kind of the surprise element of the sweetness of this one. It just stays with you a little bit more. It really helps offset the peatiness that this one has.
I think age has something to do with that, and I think ABV, which kind of go hand in hand, right?
So the SMWS bottle,
it's young,
almost overpeated to me at the end. The first notes was great, but then after that it was all peat to me.
Well, we do have 2 more bottles to go through. I don't know if we can.
What?
I don't know if we can.
I think this one. To me the palate followed right through on the nose.
If you guys want us to keep going, let us know in the chat here. Maybe
we got a couple more bottles to go to, and we can finish out the conversation on Pete. I'm trying to think if there's anything we've forgotten here. I did want to talk quickly, real quick. If you guys didn't check out Mash and Drum this week, yesterday actually, last night, Mash and Drum had Lee, Scotch and the Bayou on as guest. If you guys haven't checked out that show, if you didn't catch it live, I did not catch it live, but I watched it on the replay. Go back and check it out, man. It's Lee, Scotch and the Bayou, Mash and Drum. You can't go wrong. Yeah. Good show. Go check it out, you guys. Let's see, 4 more years more. I'm trying to see. All right, Daniel.
Daniel,
tell us how you really feel, right?
Nocturnal.
You're not gonna hurt my feelings. Oh, jeez.
Lee says keep going too.
Oh, hey, by the way, Lee, why don't you speak up? Did y'all have a good time last weekend?
So, you know what? We're drinking a ton. What are you guys drinking right now? Comment.
Right. What's in your glass at this moment?
Right
So
now with us.
We just went
better
through
be
this.
drinking too.
Hopefully you're in the Pete world like we are.
Yeah. Travis Faircloth, I'll give you a pass if you're deep in the sherry world, but
Graham
that guy's
Young is
killing
getting
me.
into a cast strength Kilhoman.
Bob is off tomorrow, or he's working from home, so he's going to be staying up late tonight.
That a boy, Bob.
He was grilling some
Hey,
steaks earlier.
look, Glen Grant 12's no.
Nocturnal's been
That's
playing
good.
12.
I'm done with that.
Oh, that's good.
Which Distiller's Edition, Bob? You can't get away with that.
Ardbeg 10 for Daniel. Lagavulin 8 for Zach. Yeah, that's a good one.
Good boy.
Thanks
Roger,
for
Roger,
being
Dodger.
Willis.
Keep it going, guys.
Who else has got Lagavulin in the glass tonight?
What's in your glass, Ben D?
Oh, I got to work tomorrow.
Malt Minion, SMWS 73.
Ardbeg 22.
Whoa, Chad Adams going big. 507. All right. Okay.
4-5.
Yeah. We all know that, right? Look at Brienne hitting the boonie.
Nice.
Her husband's in Vegas. Who knows what he's doing? She's at home drinking all the scotch.
Smart girl.
Hazelburn 13 for Wheelhouse. That's a good one. Not a bad choice at all. Chad Adams winning with Ardbeg 22. Yep, absolutely. Eric Wade just finished.
Eric Waite's doing some pre-research. I see how he
I see what
works.
you're doing.
I see how you roll.
Black Art 4.1 sample.
Oh, all
Good on you.
right,
That's
Travis.
that's not sherry.
Oh, good for
That's
you, bro.
everything. It's a black art.
Distill's he might get some Ardbeg 22. That's a good one. Graham's drinking
Chad is killing his black art.
Dun, dun, dun.
Do you see Scotch in the Bayou?
Yeah, I see that. You made some new best friends, Liam.
Yeah, I heard all about that. That's
Did it go well?
they want to go back again. They're ready.
Oh, really?
The Saints let him down, but they did not let that sour the freaking
Let me just say the Hurricanes were flowing.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Lafitte Blacksmith Shop makes
That's
some
right.
good hurricanes.
So what do we have left? I've got this Colila cast strength G&M right here.
I want to open this Lacheg.
I do too.
But I gotta drink this first.
This was.
I like this one.
I got to be honest. I was pleasantly surprised. I'm glad that I had a chance to try this one tonight because I really think I like this Gordon McPhail. I've had Gordon McPhails that I've really loved, and I've had some that just kind of fell short, and I was like, the 15. What was it? It was a Gordon McPhail 15 on something.
Mortlock.
That was your board. It was
Mortlock.
Thank you.
Yeah, it wasn't.
No, the 15 was your burnt toast. That was
the
your
20. The 21 let me down.
25.
Or 25. It was. Yeah.
the 15 turned you into that became burnt toast.
That was the original burnt toast back
Right.
I think it was at your bar.
And
Yeah,
then
it's been a while.
6 months later, we were in Vine Table, and I saw the 25. I'm like, well, you gotta get it. Drew's just gonna freaking fall over and die. And it was a letdown.
It was.
And I mean, I guess they can't all be home runs, right, guys? So I was disappointed in that, but I'm glad to get this one. This is a good dram.
That one's from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
All right, well, let's try this one. This is a sherry cast finish. It's got a lot of peat in it too, so I'm really intrigued about this one. So,
Yes, Bob, buy it. Buy it now, because I want a dram.
So Andrew, let's talk about like peat in general. So there's been all kinds of different formulas, right, with sherry and obviously bourbon, etc. What can you do? What have they not done yet with peat?
Well, so the key thing with peat is that it essentially it's set from the time you distill. or actually from the time you make the malt, and then you brew
Well,
it
that's
for
when they
beer,
put it in,
and then
right.
and then you distill it. And so you'll you will peat a whiskey up to whatever ppm of phenol is the kind of an estimate of whiskey, and then after that, you distill it, when you lose a third of the peat, is that bad cork?
No.
That's what I'm asking.
No, it's
No.
not.
And then you as you continue to age it, the peat influence goes down, and so if you really love peat, they either need to over peat, at the malting, or they need to make them young, and that's the only way to really get why the Octomores are super peated and fairly young. On purpose.
What about your whiskeys that peat by barreling, by maturation?
Well, then essentially that's a much more subtle peating. So,
But I mean, is it possible to make a peated whiskey and then put it back into a barrel that had peated whiskey?
you could do that, yeah. So the key with peat is one of the primary flavor components is phenol, and phenol is fairly volatile, and so it will evaporate away from the whiskey. And so if you age it too long, some will go into the wood, sure, but some will evaporate. And if you take a peated whiskey and put it in a peated whiskey barrel, then yeah, you may minimize some of that loss, but yeah, you need to. And I know Wolfburn did a whiskey where they put it in peated barrel. They put their non-peated whiskey in a peated barrel, and it added a few ppm of peat, and it was a pretty good balance. And that's another
interesting way to do it. Yeah. Yep.
So I mean, we didn't have a Dr. Scotch episode tonight. Go on, Bud Clap, but he's still here. So I'm going to ask a question and get into this. Peating, when you burn peat over, and the smoke goes up over the barley or whatever, is that add oil?
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, when I burn things in my fireplace or whatever, I can imagine burning peat. It's going to add soot to the chimney or whatever. Yeah. Is that soot getting on the barley as we're?
Yeah, you have to think of it like you're smoking meat. So when you smoke meat, you can smoke meat. You add smoke until the meat reaches a certain temperature. And then beyond that point, the smoke doesn't permeate. And there's no value in adding more smoke because it will not make it more.
It's more heat than it is
smoke. It's the same thing with peated whiskey and peating and drying the barley. Once the water content gets below a certain point, the peat doesn't add any more flavor to the whiskey. So you either need to use exclusively peat for the first drying process to really coat the material.
And what's it coating it with?
Well, it's coating it with the soot and the oils and whatever else vaporizes.
The smoke is coming up over that barley, and it's devap, right? I don't know. It's adding soot and oil to
the oils and stuff are condensing on the wet or the essentially the water on the barley is absorbing those oils and the
from the smoke.
And then as it dries out, then that whatever's in there will just stick to the malt
because the water evaporates as it dries out.
Exactly.
And all you're left with.
And then once the water evaporates, then no more smoke is gonna get into the liquid.
Okay. So Zach had mentioned that Wolfburn Light. That was, to me, that's a really good step into peat world. When somebody wants to say, well,
it's a great dram.
Don't go diving into this.
No,
right?
No.
But that Wolfburn is a really good first step because it is so lightly peated. I mean, me, everybody I ask, how can I get into peat? Should I try this Hardbeg or no, don't go get a Lafroy 10. I mean, you'll never go back. You wade into the water. I mean, don't get me wrong. 1 out of 10 people dive in the deep end, and they, Bud Matthews, they never come back up. They sit at the bottom of the pool and drink it all. But, for the most part, you want to wade in.
But talk about the Lecheg.
Yeah, so I haven't tasted it. I haven't even smelt it.
I'm just starting to.
Oh, the nose on it. So I'm just smelling the bottle, and
it's a hint of sherry, but it's almost like
honestly, I get a funk.
Well, it's not fun, but there's a lot of nose on that. I mean,
it's almost
can you ever get a good nose out of a bottle?
No. Put it on this glass.
But it smells all charred and man, that's nice.
I get a little bit of funky funk.
There's something different about it on the nose.
I can smell
So
it.
do
It's
we
like
know
cough syrup and eucalyptus and
18 small batch?
peat.
What's the
Spanish
ABV
sherry,
on that?
46.3, unchill filtered. So the beauty of that is you get all that protein and oils and mouthfeel that's staying in it. Really nice. You're not
Ooh, that's nice.
You're not going to get as bright a whiskey, but you get a meatier, heavier.
Really rounded.
Is it?
Ooh, aftertaste. After palate there, the finish is, what is that? It's almost a little funky.
Funk?
I found the palate and the finish much better than the nose. The nose had funk, which I didn't think was off-putting. But I think putting it in your mouth is a lot better than smelling
It's almost a little bit oloroso in the finish. I think that's what I'm getting. It's exactly what
That's
I'm
by
getting.
default, right?
Yeah.
it. This has a really long finish. This has a really long. It's honestly, I still have like a long finish of juicy fruit going down. That's interesting. I honestly found the nose a lot more funkier.
The nose is pretty funky. Yeah, I'd agree with you on that.
What's going on there?
Bob.
Bob,
Quit. We're trying to do a show here, Bob.
This is actually really interesting. It's unique. It's got
So-
a different palate than I'm used to having.
So Graham says Lecheg is amazingly priced Peter Dram. And you make a good point for those that don't know. Lecheg is Tobermory's, peated cousin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Comes out of the same distillery. It's just a peated version, basically.
That's really good.
Yeah, it is really good.
Good balance, good everything.
It's getting better and better.
And the nose is
Rolling.
actually getting better.
That sherry kick at the end, it's got a really strong aftertaste
So
of sherry.
is the finish sherry or is the
Sherry.
finish
Yeah.
smoke?
No,
It's sherry.
it's sherry.
There is.
There's not a whole lot of heat to it, to be honest.
Where the hell's Tobermory located? You got a map? Man, I can't read that thing. It's too dark and I don't have my glasses on.
I don't know.
Pull it up.
The Googler.
The Googler. Putting it in your mouth is better than smelling. I say that, Chad, because honestly, there are some whiskeys, there are some scotches that I put up to my nose, and I never get past that. I'm just like, I'm just
getting all
entranced.
sorts
I'm
of
in
smoke
love
on
with the
that.
nose of it.
The mid to late palate and the finish, all sorts of smoky, but it's also sweet. And so it is a really good balance between
Isle of Mull.
going too far. Isle of Mull, so it is an island of whiskey. I mean that is the sherry
That's
kick on
really
that
good.
creates a really pleasant balance.
Bob,
Good choice.
you should feel bad about giving us this bottle, because it ain't going to make it.
No, it's not better than Lagavulin 14. Nope.
I
But
think
it- but
this
it-
is
but
pretty
it's
good.
similar.
I think
It's
this is going to
similar.
make its way. I think
Lagavulin 14
and I
is
honestly
better
think
than this.
you leave this open for a month, and you're going to come back, and
I just had some yesterday, so I know the palate, but it's similar in quality.
How long is the long row open?
Uh,
You don't know. You're at a bar. Give this 3 weeks,
No,
and I'll come take it off your hands.
Trish, no, you won't.
What is he doing?
I know what's going to happen. In 2
This is
weeks,
going upstairs
I'm
in
going to
my
be on the
office.
Xbox with my headset on and playing PUBG, shooting people, and Drew's going to be like, you know what I'm pouring? I'll hear a cork pop, and I'll be like, I don't know. And he'll be like, Lecheg. And I'm like, son of a bitch.
Maybe.
And then that
So-
happens.
So at the end of the
They've
day,
done
we've
much
had a
something.
good night, guys. We've had some peat and some smoke and all kinds of craziness. We've gone from we actually haven't killed these two zebras. Maybe after the show's over on Discord, but we've gone from Lagavulin, which is kind of would you say it's sick to say Lagavulin's kind of like the Isla mainstream name, or just it's kind of
No, don't say that. I mean, honestly,
Lagavulin, Lefroy,
so popularity.
Bunnahabhain.
The thing about Lagavulin is they have a core line.
They don't
their
strafe off
their
of it.
Lagavulin 16 is their huge core.
Right.
They are
That's the pillar.
They are bringing in some younger things, but they just don't have that rich.
Well, he's helping, right? Or whatever. Let me this one.
Offerman.
Offerman's
Yeah.
been he's helping with the brand name for sure. But we've gone from everything from Lagavulin. We've gone some Coila. We've gone some Lecheg. You and I had some of this earlier. I mean, it's a wonderful world of peatiness and scotchiness out there, and all roads lead to Isla,
A
right?
huge breadth of it too. I mean, I honestly, we didn't even pop a Lafroy, right? We had some Lafroy quarter casks before we came on the show. From Kilholman to Bowmore, there's a huge range of peated whiskeys that will touch everybody's palate.
To Johnny Walker Black. And
That's
Johnny
right.
Walker
That's
Double
true.
Black.
Right,
Those are
right,
both
right.
peated whiskeys that are great
Yep.
blends.
Right. And I think it's the time. I'm glad I'm getting back into the saddle when it comes to peat, because I've been on the sherry kick for quite some time. But fun night to get into the peats. We enjoyed the Offerman. Got a lot of things coming, guys. Be on the lookout. We are probably, I don't want to put a time like week or so, but
I would say a couple weeks.
I would say we're close to locking down the trip. So if you guys are interested, I can tell you from looking at the list of the people that have already verbally committed, there's not many seats left. There will be few.
We'll let you know as soon as
but it's
we
coming.
The problem is having a tour group of 50 people is not available in
no
Scotland.
distillery can handle that many
Nope.
people, so
It's-
we got to keep it to a number where the distillery can let us come in
That's
and
correct.
get that kind of special treatment.
And that's the problem.
So,
So keep in mind, 2021,
well, 2021 is the Isla trip.
we're going to do the Isla trip.
We'll make that happen.
I can't
Aside
wait
from
for
that, it's going to be a good time. A reminder, guys, for the folks in Central Indiana, Vine and Table this Sunday, 3 p.m.
Or Michigan, or Illinois, or Kentucky,
Dude,
or
it's going to be
Ohio.
fun. We're going to be there for a couple hours shooting.
17th?
We're going to do some recorded stuff that we're going to edit
Sunday.
and publish as review type stuff, and we're going to do some live show stuff. So if you're in the show, if you're in if you're there, we're going to try to bring people that are there, into the show and talk about No Name 2 from Compass Box and Mac Edition 5 are the two
can't
things that we're
wait.
going to talk about. So
I've heard good things about Edition 5. So.
I have too. You know what? I've heard it's pretty close to the one that I like the most out of the other editions.
I'm excited to
so
try it.
I'm excited to see where that goes, because I know I've got a spare bottle of 2.
Do you really? I might also.
Damn right. So
Maybe we might need to take a bottle up there and say, hey, is it as good as 2?
I don't know.
I think they need to pull one out of
Are
their
they
stores.
open?
I don't know.
So hopefully we'll see you guys there on Sunday the 17th. If
Uh-huh.
you're there, we'll love to see you and have you on the show.
Anyway, we really appreciate everybody joining.
Thanks for
Everybody,
the super chats.
thanks for the super chats.
Again, if you're listening to this on podcast, give us a 5-star review, because that helps boost the.
There you go.
Subscribe, notification bell. Monday's reviews.
There you
Look
go.
for them, man. Cheers,
Cheers,
everybody.
guys.
Slancha.